Siyasayinda ke lapha yena ke uSergeant.
Yes, and the next entry that's relevant for this prisoner. My lord, we've marked the pages from page 2.
And the next entry is written on Friday, the 10th of July 2020. The OB number is 310.
No, 309. Oh, sorry, yes, 310.
310. The time was 10 o'clock. Escort to court, Sergeant Bugane. Escorted cell 05/07/2020, Musi Temba Dibia, for illegal possession of ammunition. To Tembisa, on Tembisa Cas 01/06/2020, correctly received, and it was signed by Sergeant Bugane.
Lana ke elandelayo ke kwakungazo i-10 zika July 2020 bhaliwe ke isikhathi u10 ekseni ehanjiswa ke noma ephelekezelwa eya enkantolo uyena uDetective Sergeant Mohane kubhalwa ke no 05/07/2020 umuzi Sithemba Sibiya ngokutholakala ke nezinhlamvu ezingekho emthethweni kwicala lasethembisa le case 01/06/2020 nokuthi wamukelwa kahle ke wase esayinda yena ke uDetective Mohane.
So, in short, according to the occurrence book, this detainee was at Silverton Police Station from the period 3 July 2020 to 10 July 2020.
That's correct.
Kafushane ke isibosha lesike sasikhona ke eSilverton noma sasigcina eSilverton ukusuka ngazo i3 zika July 2020 kwaze kwayofika noma kwayoshaya i10 zika July 2020.
We'll get back to Exhibit N1 in a while. If I can ask you to turn to Exhibit NN in brackets 2, the cell register. Is there any corresponding entry in the cell register pertaining to this detainee?
That's correct, my lord. On cell entry 5 of July 2020, person with the name of Musi Temba Zibana was booked in. He was detained at Silverton Police Station on 2020-0703 at 0051.
Ngalo ke noma kwinyanga kaJuly ngo2020 lana ke uma ubheka ke wehlanu ukusuka phezulu obhalwe ke lana uVusi Sithemba Sibana ke ngwalendlela ebhalwe ngayo lana ke futhi ke ngalo ilanga lange3 zika July 2020 isikhathi ku0051.
The charge he was detained on was possession of illegal ammunition, Tembisa Cas 01/06/2020.
Icala ke kwakuyilelo lokutholakala ngeinhlamvu ngokungekho emthethweni, icala lasethembisa lu-01/06/2020.
According to the cell register in column 14, he was released on 2020/07/10 at 10 o'clock to the magistrate court.
Bese uma ubheka ke kuyena ke ucolumn 14 ngazo i10 zika July 2020 ngo10 isikhathi ila akhishwa khona ke eya enkantolo.
Thank you. And if you can just maybe clarify the time of detention. You mentioned 2251.
No, it is 0051. Time of detention. It's in column 8.
Right, there's another time in column 5.2. What does that represent?
That represents the time of the arrest that is given by the arresting officer.
Isikhathi lana esibhaliwe ke u10 ke wasebusuku lokho chaza ke isikhathi aboshwa ngaso isikhathi leso ke esasinikwa iphoyisa leli ekuyilona elambopha.
Thank you. If we can then just get back to Exhibit NN in brackets 1. Now, yesterday you've outlined the procedure that must be followed when there's a complaint of an injury by a detainee, and you've referred to the relevant national instructions. I just want to refer you to page 3 of Exhibit NN1. Entry number 97 at 23R20. Or maybe if you can start right at the top, entry number 94. And this is just by way of an example. What was the position regarding that entry?
The entry was made, it was a report that was made on the 3rd of July 2020 at 21:37. The entry read as follows: report, Constable Sabaka report that one male suspect in the cells by the name of Joseph Nyanga, SCPS 142/7/2020, charged possession of stolen property. During cell inspection, I noticed that he's vomiting. I immediately contact emergency services on 112.
As is complaining of next page, is that correct?
Yeah, he
Is
is
that correct?
complaining of neck pain
And the
the emergency reference number is 101713. Consultant name Tandiwe.
Lana ke lo mbiko ke noma lo mbhalo olana ke usetshenziswa ke nanjengesibonelo ukuthi uma kunombiko ke noma umuntu ke enesikhalo sokuthi ke unayo inkinga nayo, lana kubhaliwe ke ngazo i3 zika July 2020 ku21:37 isikhathi umbiko uthi uConstable Sibaka wachaza noma washo ke ukuthi isiboshwa esizodwa somuntu wesilisa kuma cell igama laso kuJoseph Nyanga, SAP 140207/2020, akuboshelwe ke ukutholakala enempahla ke eyintshontshiwe. Ushilo ke nkathi esemaselini ukuthi ke yena loyo ke uJoseph lowo ke waye khipha ngaphezulu noma waye vomita ke, ngase ngaleso sikhathi ke sengibiza ke abosizo noma ke ama emergency service kena ke u112, nanjengoba wayesho ukuthi ke uneyinhlungu noma unama pain anawo la kuyena ke emqaleni noma entanyeni, futhi ke i-reference number e101713 naloyo umuntu ekwakhulunywa naye kwakuwuthandiwe. Kuyaboniswa nanje ngesibonelo ukuthi kwenziwani uma ngabe umuntu enaloko akhala ngako.
Yes, you can then read the entry at 23R20.
Entry 97, it was the same evening at 23:20. Report, Constable Sabaka reported that a male.
I made a follow-up.
I made a follow-up on the ambulance requested from emergency services at reference number 101713, and Mrs. Sophie assured me telephonically that they received my call and that the ambulance is still on the way to the police station as requested.
Lana ke uyachaza noma uyaqhubeka ke uSibaka ekulona ke ebefonile ukuthi kwase elandelela ke futhi ucingo wako lo awelenzile ke mayelana neambulance ukuthi le awayecelile, base bemchazela ke ne reference number e101713, base ke uMiss Sophie emnikeza ke isiqiniseko sokuthi ekusho lokho ngocingo ke ukuthi ke ucingo lwakhe balutholile nokuthi futhi ke iambulance isendleleni eyakhona epolice station nanjengoba ayicelile.
As you mentioned, this is by way of example. What does this illustrate?
This illustrates that according to the national instruction, if somebody in custody a person in custody needs medical treatment, the relief commander or the person in the cells must immediately act and contact the necessary emergency services to ensure that the person receives treatment.
Lokhu okuchazayo njengoba kushiwo ukuthi kusetshenziswa nanjengesibonelo ukuthi ke loyo ophethe emaseli noma ke iCommander uma kuwukuthi ukhona ke umuntu kulabo bavalelwe onesikhalo noma oshoyo ukuthi ke kukhona ke la angaphethekanga kahle khona ke ukuthi yikona lokhu okufanele kwenziwe ukuthi enze isiqiniseko sokuthi ke uyalithola usizo loyo muntu loyo.
Now, Colonel Swanepoel, you've been a station commander for some 32 years, and you've also been a member of the police for about 41 years. Do you consider yourself sufficiently experienced on matters pertaining to occurrence books and cell registers?
Yes, my lord, I do. I make it my job to ensure that all the national instructions that is issued is communicated to all the members at the station as well, and to ensure that they also know the national instructions and instructions pertaining to detention management.
Nanjengomuntu ke ose-station commander iminyaka ewu-32 usemaphoyiseni ke iminyaka ewu-41 ungathi ke uyithatha nanjengomuntu noma ubona nanjengomuntu owaziyo ukuthi ke indaba yama-occurrence book iy'ncwadi lezi isebenza kanjani. Yebo, okwami futhi ke uqiniseka ukuthi ke uma khona ke okuphuma phezulu ke kwabasiphethe ke ama-instructions ukuthi ke lawo ama-instructions lawo atholwa noma aziwa uyena wonke umuntu osebenzayo khona lapho futhi ke nokuthi ke bayawalandelela ke mayelana nabantu ababoshiwe.
Now, you've just placed an entry and records as per Exhibit NN1 on Friday, the 3rd of July 2020, that this prisoner who was booked in by Sergeant Mohani was received with no injuries.
That's correct.
Yebo ngishilo lokho ngicela ukufunda ukuthi ngazo 8 zika July 2020 isiboshwa ke leso esasilethwe uyena uSergeant Mohani salethwa ke singalimele.
And also when he was booked out on the 10th of July 2020.
That's correct.
Nokuthi kanjalo futhi ke nangenkathi ekhishwa ke ngazo i-test zika July 2020.
Now, we have seen that this is a common entry in all the occurrence books that have been handed up, Exhibit MM, which is an occurrence book from, just trying to get my list, from Pretoria North Police Station. We've also seen that entry in Exhibit Exhibit NN and Exhibit NN is an extract of the occurrence book from Silverton Police Station, NN1 that we've just placed on record. There's also Exhibit NN, is an extract of occurrence book, entry for accused number 1 from the following police stations: Diepkloof Police Station, which is dated the entry is dated 30 May 2020. Also, the occurrence book from Vilera Police Station dated 31 May 2020 to 8 June. And also Exhibit PP, Exhibit PP is an occurrence book and cell register from Phukem Police Station. And we've also seen that entry in Exhibits QQ. And Exhibit QQ is an occurrence book entry from Primrose Police Station dated 20 June 2020 to 21 June 2020. We've also seen the same entry in Exhibit SS. It's an occurrence book from Pretoria Moot Police Station dated 22 to 24 June 2020. And we've seen the same entry in Exhibit UU in brackets 2, which is an extract of entry from Fossularis Court Cell Register. Now, in your view, Colonel Swanepoel, what is the integrity of these entries in the occurrence book? What is the reliability of such entries? What is the truthfulness of such entries?
The entries is made by the members in the cells or the CSC. So every person that make that entry got a legal obligation to make the entry to the correct knowledge that he experienced at that specific time.
Konke okubhaliwe lana kubhalwa amalunga ake ngaleso sikhathi leso lapho emaselini ukuthi ke nelunga ngalinye ke uma umuntu ebhala kuyinto ke emphoqayo ke lokho ngomthetho ke futhi ukuthi ubhala ke lokho kaziyo anolwazi labo ngaleso sikhathi leso.
National Instruction 13 of 2019 gives the minimum requirements of such an entry that must be made by the police members.
Futhi ke kulomthetho obizwa ukuthi ama-National Instruction 13 wapheke u-20 ukuthi ke yila ekuchazela khona ke ukuthi yini ke efanele umuntu ayazike noma ayenzeke uma ngabe ebhala kuyona ke incwadi.
So all the entries at all the police stations in the Republic of South Africa will have the same entries because it's mentioned in a national instruction how that entry must read.
Futhi ke kuzo zonke noma kuona onke ama-police station eNingizimu Afrika lokana nje naye uma ke kubhalwa laphayana kufanele ke kubhalwe ngoba ke lawa ama-instructions lawo ayachaza ke ukuthi kufanele kubhalwe noma kubhalwe kanjani. Uzothola ke ukuthi kuzona zonke ke lezo ncwadi lezo kuzobhalwa ke into eyodwa noma into ke efanayo.
And what is the status of occurrence books and cell registers? How are they classified?
The SAPS 10, the occurrence book, SAPS 14, the cell register is official documents and must be kept according to the regulations on official documents.
Le ncwadi ezahlukeleke kuyona ke i-SAP noma ke i-occurrence book SAP 14 kanye futhi ne-register ke ilena ke i-SAP 10 kufanele ke igcinwe ke ngokwendlela ke umthetho ochaza noma osho ngayo ukuthi kufanele igcinwe ngayo.
Now, is it possible that a police officer can cover up an injury of a detainee?
My Lord, I think it is possible that a cover-up can happen, but the police members can't, in a long period, they can't cover it up. And I'm saying that because every 12 hours there's new members on duty. Every 12 hours the new members is looking after persons in the cells. So they visit the cells every hour and they must ensure that the prisoners is all available in the cell, and they must ensure that the cell structure is still of a proper area, that there will be no escapes, and they must ensure that there's no injuries to any of the detainees.
Kungenzeka yini ke ukuthi ke iphoyisa ke lingagodla ke noma lingafihla ke ukulimala kwesiboshwa? Yebo lokho ke kungenzeka ke, kodwa ke angeke kwenzeke isikhathi eside ngoba nje ngaso ngawo wonke amahora nje ayi12 noma ke ngama-hour awu-12 kunama member amasha ke noma amalunga amasha ke afikayo ahamba ayobheka isimo sala iboshwa igcinwe khona, ayobheka isimo sokuthi iboshwa ayilimele yini, nokuthi futhi ke angeke kwenzeke yini ukuthi mhlambe ke isiboshwa noma iziboshwa zingeqa. Lokho ke kungenzeka kodwa ngeke umuntu akwazi ukuthi angafihla isikhathi eside.
And then if there's injuries, the member will report it because he will be also, he can also be held liable if you don't report such an injury. And with departments like the Independent Police Investigation Directorate, IPID, and oversight committees that's visiting the police stations, the members don't cover up for each other.
Lana ke okwenzekayo ke futhi ukuthi ke uma ke isiboshwa ke kuukuthi ke isiboshwa noma umuntu ke ulimele lokho kufanele ilunga noma imember ke ikusho ichazeke ngoba uma kuukuthi lokho akawukhipha umbiko ngakho ke naye ke angase inkingeni ke ngoba ke kunale lokho kubizwa ngokuthi ke IPD ekuyibona abaphenya amaphoyisa kunama committee ahlala nje njalo eyovisita emajele eyobheka izimo zasemajele manje ke lokho kusho ukuthi ke angeke ke amaphoyisa ke abe wona ke esiyazama ukukhavelana noma afihle okwenzekayo.
In the entry that you've just placed on record, exhibit NN in brackets 1, entry with the serial number 64, you've placed on record that Sergeant Mohani signed next to that entry. What is the purpose of Sergeant Mohani signing there?
That to ensure that the entry that was made is the correct information that was received. So he confirmed that that is the correct information.
Lana ke ku entry 64 lana ke umukhane asayina khona ke uma esayina ke uyasho ukuthi lokhu akubhalile ke lana ngempela ke kuyiqiniso futhi ke uyavumelana nako ingakho ke egcineni asiyasayina.
And we've seen that that is the same with all the entries that I've just put on record regarding the police stations. And what is the import of such entries by the detectives?
Sorry.
Yes. You've just explained what the purpose of the signature. Will that be the same with all the other entries?
That's correct.
Nakwezinye ke indawo la kusayinwe khona ke basayinda ngalezathu lesi ke emqedwe kusisho.
Now, you were at Silverton Police Station for a period of about 7 years. Were the police officers at Silverton known to you?
Yes, my lord, I know that.
Wawusesilvathini ke isikhathi singangiminyaka ewu7 ngaba ke amaphoyisa asesilvathini amaphoyisa owazi yini? Yebo ngangikwazi.
Now, during cross-examination by Mr. Mgumezulu, he put it to the investigating team that a police officer by the name of Nkamani at Silverton Police Station assaulted accused number 1. Did you have a member by that name at Silverton Police Station?
In 2020, there was no such member, and in the whole period that I was there from 2016 till 2023, there was no such member with that surname. At Silverton Police Station.
Mr. Mgomezulu ke kwithimba ke eliphenyayo ushilo lana ukuthi ke umthwalo wokuqala ke washawe iphoyisa elinqamane ngabe wonalo yini lelo phoyisa lelo ngaleso sikhathi lapho ngaso sonke isikhathi ngilapha yana ke nokusuka ke ngo2016 kuyoshaya ke 2023 akekho umuntu wayenaleso sibongo lapha yana.
Sorry, yes, Mr. Mgomezulu.
My lord, I just want to correct my colleague.
Correct your colleague?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr.
Okay.
Baloi. The name Ngamane was amongst the names of people that assaulted accused number 1. He is not, or he was not, a police officer stationed at Silverton. I've never put it as
Yeah, okay.
a member that.
So Ngamani is not a police officer?
No. Stationed at Silverton during the assault.
Where was he stationed then? Because this is how Mr. Baloi says the question was posed. At Silverton. So if he wasn't stationed there, fine, no problem. Because this witness says there was no person with the name of Ngamani at Silverton,
Yes.
where your client was allegedly assaulted.
My instruction is that Ngamane was from intelligence.
Was that?
Intelligence office. He was working with Mabena,
All right.
the late Mabena.
Kungithiwa ke lokho ukuthi ke cha uMamane wayengasebenzisi ke eSilverton kodwa wayesebenza naye uMabena esebenzela ke uphiko lolu intelligence.
Sorry, Mr. Baloi. was the assertion that the gentleman, Mr.
Ngamani.
No, accused number
Accused
one,
number one.
as you say, was assaulted at Silverton.
Well, my lord, that was the import of the proposition that was put to, I think it was Sergeant Mohola.
Yeah.
And that was after reference was made to the entry at the Tembisa court appearance on the 10th of July. And accused number one then, via his legal representative, put it on record that he was being assaulted by police officers at Silverton.
Okay, fine.
And the name then came up in that context.
Okay, fine.
Now, my lord, I beg to.
Then fine. You are saying Namani works according to your client for intelligence.
Yes.
Okay.
And my lord, may I just correct the assertion that was put by accused number one in terms of the version put on Sergeant Khan. He said the police officers or the members at Silverton did not assault him. They, when he informed the court in Tembisa, he never made reference to the police officers of Silverton. He said the police were assaulting him. That's why he requested to be detained in prison.
Oh, these are just members of the police force.
Yes,
They
that's
randomly assaulted him.
Yes,
Okay, fine.
because on the record in the charge sheet it appears SADP.
Okay, fine.
Okunye futhi ke kuyakulungisa ke ummeli number 1 uthi ke ummeli wena ke uma ukhuluma enkantolo yaseThembisa usho ukuthi washaywa amaphoyisa aseSilverton. Wawushaywe nje amaphoyisa hayi ukuthi aseSilverton.
Thank you. My lord, my instruction is to confirm same that the police officers of Silverton did not assault accused number one.
Yeah, fine.
That's what I want to do.
Inda ke lokho kodwa usho manje ukuthi wena ke bachizelana ke ukuthi awuzange noma ukazi ushaywa amaphoyisa aseSilverton.
As a court, please, my lord, it might perhaps be necessary to revisit Exhibit 00. This is the charge sheet of the proceedings in Tembisa Court.
Oh.
Yes, Exhibit 00 on the 10th of July 2020. The following is noted. The accused being assaulted by SAPD Silverton.
Ufunda ke umshushisi okwenzeka ke eThembisa enkantolo yaseThembisa
The 10th of July 2020.
okwenzeka ke enkantolo yaseThembisa ngazo i-10 kaJuly 2020 ukuthi kubhaliwe phansi ukuthi umshushisi umsolwa noma ummangalelwa uyasho ukuthi ushaywa noma washaywa amaphoyisa aseSilverton uthi into ebhalwe phansi ke le record yasenkantolo eThembisa.
And that is when the request was made that he be transferred to Modabi.
Okay, fine. Sorry, is that the typed record?
This is the
Inscription there is what?
this is
By
just
hand?
a handwritten copy of the charge sheet.
Okay, fine. No problem. Thanks.
As a court, please, my lord, these are all the aspects. Perhaps just one aspect. You have mentioned the role played by the IPID. Now, as far as injuries are concerned of a detainee, what role do they play?
As soon as a detainee is injured and he alleges that he is assaulted, he's got a right to open a criminal docket, and that criminal docket will be then be transferred to IPA. They must be informed within 24 hours, within 12 hours, to ensure that they take over the investigation of that specific case.
Uma kuwukuthi ke umsola ushayiweke noma ulimeleke kufanele ukuthi yena-ke bewuyena-ke manje osemangala-ke okuzokwenzeka-ke ukuthi-ke kuzophenywa-ke i-IPD-ke noma kuvulwe idokodo kwisikhathi samahora ayishumi-2-ke kufanele i-IPD ichazeleke ekuyibona-ke manje esebezothatha-ke ukuya phambili ukuphenya lelo cala lelo.
Thank you, my lord. These are all the aspects we wanted to take up.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gomez. Gomez.
Thank you. Morning, Mr. Sonny.
Good morning.
So it's your evidence that you were a lieutenant colonel in 1992. Is that correct?
No, a lieutenant.
Lieutenant colonel,
No, just
What?
lieutenant.
Lieutenant.
The rank was lieutenant at that time.
1992.
Yeah, that rank in the meantime, that rank fell away.
Ngo-1992-ke isikhundla enganamake enganginayo kwakuwu-lieutenant ekwase ukuthi ngokuhamba kwesikhathi-ke ayabisaqhubekayo.
So you were promoted in 2016 as a colonel.
That's correct.
Kwase ukuthi ngo-2016 ngase ngikhushulwa-ke ngesikhundla ngaba u-colonel.
So in terms of the procedures that you are putting on record before this honorable court, you were guided by the national instruction and the standing orders.
That's correct, my lord.
Futhi-ke naloko ngichazile lapha-ke ngemithetho-ke ekhona-ke mina-ke ngiholwa-ke noma siholwa-ke ilama instruction engithi akhona-ke national.
All right. In terms of, you gave evidence in relation to how the OB is, how the events are recorded in the OB and the SAP 14 capital letter A, the rights of the suspect. So, firstly, before I get into, does the national instruction also prescribes the formalities or the procedure to be followed by members when they are taking a confession?
Yes, there's also a national instruction pertaining to a confession, but it's mostly covered in the Criminal Procedure Act.
Yebo khona-ke nesitshela-ke noma-ke umthetho khona-ke mayela nala kuthathwa khona-ke itatimende la umuntu-ke agodluka khona-ke noma kwenziwa ama-confession. Kodwa lokho-ke kule sigaba-ke esithi-ke i-Criminal Procedure Act lezi ey'phathelene nezomthetho.
Yes, I understand there is a provision regarding or governing the requirements for taking a confession in terms of section 217 of the Criminal Procedure Act. But precisely on the national policy or instructions that guides members when they are taking a confession, do we have such a prescribed format or procedure?
My lord, unfortunately I can't answer that. I'm not 100% sure of that specific national instruction. But as I said in the beginning, there is instructions for every part of our job in South African Police.
Kumsebenzi-ke noma kwisigaba ngasinye-ke kumsebenzi wethu esiwenzayo samaphoyisa-ke khona-ke ama-instructions akhona, kodwa kulona umbuzo engibuza wona-ke angeke ngiphenduleke ngokuqondile ngithi yebo ukhona.
But you can give an opinion as an officer who has an experience of 41 years in relation to the procedure of taking a confession.
My lord, again, in the 41 years, I've never been in a position to take down a confession. So say to the court that I can't answer that specifically because I didn't do any confession in my 41 years.
Kule minyaka ke ewu-41 angeke ke ngibe nako ukuthi ngiphenduleke kuleyo ingxenye ngoba ke iminyaka ke ewu-41 ngisemaphoyiseni ke angikaze-ke ngisithathe-ke isitatimende lokho noma lokhu okubizwa ngokuthi ke i-confession.
So the question that as a person who is competent or by law that you can, if asked to take a confession,
So
you know what?
Mr. Mgomez will refer to the witness. We all know that if he's a commissioned officer,
Yes.
he's got to be a justice of the peace.
Correct.
Yeah, that's the law. Please, let's not quote.
No, I'm not getting there.
No, I'm just
This-
saying. He says in his 41 years,
Yes.
he's never taken a confession. By extension of logic, only commissioned officers who are justices of the peace in the police force take confessions.
That's correct, madam.
You were
It is
quoting the
true.
law the other day, Justice of the Peace Act, blah, 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 blah,
Yes.
blah. That's it.
As a commissioned officer, if you can be assisted to take a confession, what is the first step that you can do?
I will firstly look at the Criminal Procedure Act to ensure that I do it in the correct way, as well as national instructions that's available on the intranet of the South African Police Service. And I will make sure that before I take the confession, I adhere to all the regulations and the instructions in that specific documentation.
Uma-ke mina ngingacelwa-ke ukuthi angilekelele noma ngisizeke ekuthini ngithathe phansi isitatimende bese-ke sibizwe ngokuthi iyona i-confession. Ngaqala futhi ngiyobheka-ke ukuthi umthetho uthini nama-instructions la esiwanikwayo-ke nanjengamaphoyisa ukwenza-ke isiqiniseko sokuthi konke engikwenzayo ngenza lokho ekufanele ukuthi ngiyakwenza futhi ngikwenza futhi ngokwendlela umthetho ongilindele ukuthi ngikwenze ngayo.
My Lord, I beg leave to ask the witness to take the witness to exhibit SS.
Exhibit SS.
That's correct, madam.
Okay.
Starting from reference number or entry number 1661. Entry number 1661. Entry number 1661. The date is the 22nd of June 2020. Do you see that?
I see, my lord.
Can you please that entry on record, sir?
The entry was made on the 22nd of June 2020, on a Monday. The reference number, serial number is 1661. The time is 1500 hours. And the entry read as follows. Prisoner received Sergeant Bukhani from National Cold Case Unit of Pretoria, handed one male, Bongani Sandisu Ndanzi. It looks like police station's name, CAS 118 of 6/2020, possession of unlicensed ammunition.
Lana-ke okubhaliwe kwakungazo i-22 zika-June 2020 kwangomsombuluko. Entry lena-ke u-1661 isikhathi u-3. Okubhaliwe-ke lana ukuthi-ke isiboshwa-ke esatholakala uyena noma silethwa uyena-ke uSergeant Mokhane we-National Cold Case Unit ePretoria. Umlisa oyedwa uBongani Sandiso Ntanzi. I-case 11806/2020 boshelwe-ke ukutholakala nenhlamvu ngokungemthetho.
Then it follows on the next page with the SAPS 40 number 108 S/06/2020, SAP 14A, S0947284, Bongani Ntanzi, without any visible injuries, he confirmed.
Kwase kuthi ke kwelandelayo ke 1162 kuyaqhutshwa kwake SAP 14 10806 2020 SAP 14A S094 7284 ubongani Ntanzi engalimeleki noma ke akukho ke okubonakalayo noma ke ukulimala okubonakalayo kwase kuyaqinisekiswa ke.
Then it ended by handed correctly and the signature of Sergeant Khani.
Kwase kugcinwa ke ngokuthi ke wandluliswa kahle ke wase esayinda ke yena ke uSergeant or Detective Sergeant Mokhane.
If you go down or you want to go on all the entries that released to Bongani Ntanzi on the 22nd. So,
There's one, my lord, it is OB 1667, 1600 hour cell visit by Warrant Officer Mukari and Sergeant Sawole as follows. Cell 13, we've got 2 males. Cell 5, 1 male. Cell 8, 1 female. Cell 2, 2 males. All cell doors locked, all in order, no complaints or injuries.
Okulandelayo ke lana isikhathi ke kwaku4 kuyobhekwa ke ama cell bhalwe cell visits ona ke ama cell acela uyena uwarrant officer Mukhare kanye naye uconstable Sihole ku cell 13 babhala ukuthi abalisa ababili ku cell 8 owesimame oyedwa futhi ke ukuthi zonke icapha noma yonke ke iminyango yamasele ikhiyiwe kanye futhi ke konke kukahle akukho izikhalo ezikhona noma ukulimala.
on that OB, from where you started reading on entry 116 up to the next date that appears on that OB, will I be correct that is the 24th of June?
My lord, in between the 22nd and the 24th, there were cell visits done, as well as station visits by Lieutenant Colonel Supin, where the cells was also visited.
Phakathi kwawo ke i22 ne24 khona ke kwenzekile ukuthi kuyovisitwa ke kuma cell kanye ke nase station uKolonel Supin omunye wabantu ke abazile.
If in general practice, if an attorney goes to consult with the client in the police station, is it prescribed that it must be recorded on the occurrence book that the attorney came to visit or to consult with a particular suspect?
No, my lord, it is not mentioned in the occurrence book. There is a separate register that's kept at the police station for visits to detainees. A non-official register.
Uma kuwukuthi ke ummeli uyeza police station uzoxoxaza noma ke uzoconsulta ke neclient yakhe ke abhalwa ke lokho lana kule ncwadi ebizwa ngokuthi ke occurrence book. Khona ke nje enye incwadi ke la ekubhalwa khona ke ama visits.
On the SAP 14, is there any column where you record the visitation by a legal practitioner?
No, my lord.
Na ku SAP 14 ayikho indawo la khona ekubhalwa khona uma ummeli xoxa noma ezokhulumisana naloyo ammele.
So, are you not in possession? Oh, sorry. You were not. Can that document be made available? The one where you register the you said the non-officials, if I'm not mistaken, where an attorney visits with the purpose of consulting the client.
It is kept in a record storeroom, so I think it can be made available.
Incwadi leyo ke igcinwa ke kwi-storeroom samarekhodi, ngicabanga ukuthi ke ingalethwa.
So when it comes to the transportation of a suspect by a member, and a member, the vehicle that a member is using during the transportation of the suspect has a breakdown, mechanical breakdown. What is the procedure usually if a member encounters such a problem?
If a member encounters a problem of a breakdown, the first step that must be taken is to secure the suspect or the detainee, to ensure that the detainee don't escape or don't get injured. And then the member must take any necessary step to get alternative transport to continue with the transportation of the detainee.
Uma kuwukuthi ke kuhanjiswa isiboshwa lana ke noma ke lawo ogciniwe bese kuthi ke iphoyisa lelo lithola inkinga ngemoto leyo elihamba ngayo. Okokuqala ke kufanele kwenziwe ke ukwenza isiqiniseko sokuthi ke isiboshwa leso ke asilimele noma ke futhi ke kwema ke ukuthi ke sekho noma ke sibaleke ke isiboshwa leso. Okwesibili ke bese ukuthi loyo noma iphoyisa lelo lihambisa isiboshwa lenze ke isiqiniseko sokuthi ke manje usethola enye noma wenza ezinye indlela zokuthi ke aqhubeke nohambo lakhe noma ukuthi athole enye imoto yokuthi aqhubeke ngohambo.
In such a situation, can a member experiencing such a problem, can a member or any other people who begged or who attended to the same area, can they use the services of another mechanic other than the mechanic of the government?
According to the South African Police Service, we must use mechanics that's linked to the South African Police Service to repair vehicles. Or the vehicle must be outsourced in terms of the procurement procedure.
Ngokwendlela ke sebenza ngayo ke uma kuthi umuntu uthola ke umuntu olungisa ke imoto noma ke umechanic kufanele ke asebenzise labo abasetshenziswa ke esiphoyiseni noma ke ngokwendlela ke zangaphakathi ke emaphoyiseni ke kutholakala ke ukuthi imoto leyo ibhekwe noma ithola umechanic.
If the need arises for emergency repairs and it's not a huge repair, and the member can make use of a free service that can assist him to repair. I can take an example, my lord. If a battery is down and somebody must jump start the vehicle, or there's something small fault with the vehicle, then somebody can assist him.
Kodwa uma kuwukuthi ke noma kunezimo ke ukuthi uma kuwukuthi mhlambe ke khona nje okuncane ke okufuna la umuntu angathola usizo khona ke mhlambe inkinga yebhetri ke ifuna ukuthi ke ijump startwe ke noma nje inkinga nje encane ke lapho umuntu angathola usizo.
But in the case where a motor vehicle is overheating or there's something from the engine, it's not a minor problem, that one. It must be attended by the mechanic of the government.
Yes, if a vehicle is towed to a government garage, it must be dealt with the procurement process from that process onto the government garage.
Uma kuyukuthi ke imoto ke kufanele manje ukuthi ke isuswe noma idonso la ikhona ke ihanjiswa ke iswa ke kwi garage ekuye kahulumeni.
Tell me, what is the maximum time for keeping a suspect in the police cells when he is arrested?
If a person is arrested, he must appear before magistrate court within 48 hours.
Uma umuntu eboshiwe kufanele ke ayobingelela ke imantshi kwisikhathi ke samahora awu-48.
Or he must be released out of custody by SAPS 328, that is when he's not linked to the charge.
Noma ke abeseyakhishwa ke emaseleni ke ngayo SAP S328 uma kuwukuthi ke akukho kumhlanganisa ke nalo icala.
And depending on the crime being committed, he can be released by the SAPS on bail or either on warning.
Nokuthi ke amaphoyisa ayakwazi ke na ukuthi ke mhlawumbe angamkhipha ke ngayo ibhayile ke noma ngaso isixwayiso.
If a person is arrested on a docket of murder from Nongoma, KwaZulu-Natal, and is detained in Pretoria Mort under case number 163, 10 of 2018. The person, in terms of the national instructions, must he be taken to the place where that docket comes from? Like Kwanongoma.
If the rule is he must appear at a magistrate court before 48 hours.
Yes.
If the time allows the person to be taken to that police station within that 48-hour period, it can be done, but he must appear in a magistrate court before 48 hours expire. So if the person is arrested at Pretoria Moord and the case is in a different province and there's no time to take him immediately to that province or they come and collect him, then he must first appear at Pretoria Magistrate Court. They will postpone the case to that Magistrate Court in a different province, and then the person must appear on the date the case has been postponed to.
Okwenzekayo ke la ukuthi ke kufanele umuntu ke abe eseyabingelela ke imantshi kuleso sikhathi ke leso samahora awu-48. Uma ke isikhathi sisavuma noma ke usengahanjiswa ke asiwe ke uma kuwukuthi esinye ke isifunda leso kodwa ke uma kuwukuthi akwenzeki ke lokho noma ake abayizile ke bazomlanda uboshelela ula ePretoria Mort uzobingelela imantshi khona kuleyo nkantolo leyo bese icala liyahlehliswa ke lihlehliselwa kuleso sifunda leso kufanele ukuthi ayovela kusona ke kuzothi ngalelo langa lelo ke icala lihlehliselwe lona abe eseyovela khona ke kwaNongoma lapho.
Thank you. In a situation where the suspect has been taken, has been booked in Pretoria Mort under the same case number, under the same charge, is now taken to Force Lawrence. Is it a correct process? Is now taken to Force Lawrence court instead of Nongoma court. Is it the correct procedure?
As a court prisoner, but I think it's not fair to ask that question not in the right context. I think there was also another case docket, the First Lawrence case docket. For this witness to express an opinion, I think a complete picture needs to be painted. The First Lawrence docket must also be included.
So they didn't enroll it.
It was not enrolled. There were actually two dockets. So up to now, my lord, the 534 has never been placed on record and it has never been brought to this honorable court.
No, fine.
Yes.
But the colonel here knows the law. Like I remarked that when that prosecutor in Tembisa or wherever refused to enroll that matter saying he doesn't have jurisdiction,
Yes.
he didn't know the law. He just explained to you. Within 48 hours, he was arrested on a case which originates from Nongoma. And then when it's about to expire that 48 hours because we've got the docket and we've issued, we call it a J50, to take the person to the nearest court, he says Pretoria is right, or Joburg or whatever, for purposes of transferring the person to the proper jurisdiction. It's done every day. Drug dealers, Cape Town, they sell drugs or whatever, they are accused. And then they come from Joburg, they are arrested in Joburg, they transfer them. It happens every day. And the Colonel knows the law.
Yes, Colonel Sonepul, apparently the matter referred to was not placed on the roll, and there was another allegation that accused number 2 was arrested or was charged with docket 534 for possession of drugs in phosphorus, and both matters were not placed on the roll. By law, that person was supposed to be released. Is that correct?
I'm not sure of the details of the case, my lord, so I don't know if I must answer this, otherwise I will...
No, you're not involved in that matter.
So
Defer
I don't know the
to the
exact
witness,
details.
Mr. Mgomezi. Defer to the witness. Give him the whole shaput of the contents of the docket. Now you're selecting snippets.
My lord,
No,
I've
no.
indicated that
The court must. I read that thing, that case, Yagaramavela. They say I mustn't allow this type of cross-examination.
But now, in the event, I just want to know if the matter is not placed on the roll. Let's just put it in the general terms. The matter is not placed on the roll after 48 hours. The suspect is supposed to be released. Is that so?
The court deal with it. We hand the suspect in at the court, and the prosecutor of that specific court deal with the detainee.
Yes.
Icala thina sizodlulisela enkantolo umshushisi-ke kuleyo nkantolo leyo-ke osezobona-ke manje-ke ukuthi-ke yini-ke ezokwenzeka noma ezokwenziwa-ke kanye nenkantolo.
Can you keep the suspect after the matter was not placed on the roll? Can you still keep the person in detention pending further investigations on dockets that were not, the accused was not arrested on?
It is not, if he appears in court, the court will decide what happened with that detainee, and the police can only rearrest the person on another case or other evidence if the court releases that person.
Inkantolo izothatha isinqumo. Uyabuza-ke uma kuwukuthi-ke icala lelo lingabekiwe-ke noma lingekho-ke kuhla lamacala enkantolo niyamgcina-ke loyo muntu. Isinqumo sithathwa inkantolo bese ukuthi amaphoyisa angambopha-ke ngelinye icala noma ngamanye amacala noma-ke ngobunye ubufakazi uma kuwukuthi inkantolo imdedele.
Sorry, in terms of the national instructions, is there any specific definition of torture in terms of?
Yes, there is a national instruction on torture. Unfortunately, I don't have it here, but there's a specific definition on torture. If you give me a moment, I can give you the national instruction that deals with torture in the South African police, for persons in custody of the South African Police Service. Sorry, my lord, I can't find it right now.
But if I may ask, if you keep a suspect in a solitary confinement, is that not torture in terms of a definition by the national instructions?
My lord, the South African Police Service cells haven't got solitary confinement. We don't have that facilities at the police stations. It's only detention facilities that contains of the cell itself, where there's running water and toilet facilities, as well as the exercise area where there's also a shower and toilet facilities, as well as running water.
Ingabe ke umuntu uma umgcina ke noma la ahlezi khona ke yedwa engahlangene ke nabanye, ingaba akusiyona yini indlela leyo ke yokumzwisa nje ubuhlungu noma ke i-torture? Cha, thina ke emaphoyiseni ke asinazo ke lezo la umuntu agcina khona ke eyedwa, ama-cell esinawo futhi ke anamandla ahambayo khona lapho, kanye futhi ke nendawo la khona ke umuntu akwazi ke khona ukuthi ayoyilolonga khona.
My Lord, I request a short adjournment.
Yeah, what's the time, sir?
It's 11.
24 minutes past 11.
What time do we come back?
15 minutes. The normal short adjournment is 15 minutes.
Let's come quarter to 12.
Not here. Yes, Yay. Angin manje, okay. Open conference. Yay. Two. Sinikren. Senzo alert. Thank you, Bafit. Savoir.
Okay, I don't know. Do you say you want this gentleman to bring a book and he must come back again?
It's an entry that has been made at Pretoria Mod, and he's not stationed there. It's a document that will be coming from.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay, fine. So he doesn't have to come
I don't think so.
because the entry by common cause, if it is there, your learned colleague can say, "I see it," and by Section 220, we can agree that this is what was written down. Is that not so?
That's correct.
Indeed, my lord, if it's agreed, we can do it that way.
Okay. Are the other councillors happy with it? If there's
Same before.
yes, 220. Okay. Bye, Danke.
Thank you, madam.
Danke. Thanks. You're excused. Yes, Mr.
My lord, we just want to hand up the updated list of.
You haven't given me some of the documents which you referred to, like the records of the typescript which you got on Monday. Remember? I don't have it.
We will arrange that.
Okay, fine. All right.
What's new here? Just the exhibits that we've just dealt with at number
70.
77 is exhibit N1 and N2.
Okay. Yeah, N1 and N2.
N2,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Then also number 89, exhibit ZZ, the statement of Brigadier Gininda, dated 23 October 2020.
Okay.
We've line up only this witness for today. There's only one witness that will be testifying tomorrow, and it's a dentist. We've already made arrangements with him for tomorrow, my lord, and that will be the last witness for the state in the trial within the trial.
Okay.
We'll then request that we adjourn until tomorrow
Tomorrow.
morning.
Okay.
Futhi ke umsheshisi ke uyena phela ke ufakazi lona ke ebezobizwa ke namuhla unofakazi nje oyedwa ke osasele ozobizwa ke umbuso i-dentist kodwa ke bese bevumelene ukuthi uzoza kusasa isicelo sokuthi ke icala alithathishele kusasa
Okay, so shall I adjourn until tomorrow?
kusasa ke ngo 10 ekuseni.